Today on the Wandering Métis, we're in Meadow Lake with DJ King, a former NHL enforcer now tearing up the track in the world of chuckwagon racing. This is more than speed and adrenaline. It's about family, tradition, and the Métis spirit that drives him. Get ready for a wild ride where racing meets roots and the bond between man and horse takes center stage. Welcome to the Wandering Métis. Let's go. Hey DJ.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good, good. You found it all right?
Yeah, it wasn't too hard to find.
Yeah, good stuff, yeah.
I don't know a lot about chuck wagons, so I'm relying on you to give me the ropes and tell me what your life has been like as a chuck wagon driver.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you got a little taste for it in Batoche there. It was quite nice for us to run there, but horses has been my life pretty much all my life, right? Hockey took me in a little journey for the first part of my life, and then I found my back with the love for horses that I had in my whole life, right? So once my career with hockey ended, we started the career with not just the horses, but actually with my family, right? My boys are running around here somewhere, but I got a 9 and a 10-year-old, so we've been in the sport for 10 years now, and like I said, it's been part of their life their whole time. So.
Tell me what it's been like for you to pass on the love for horses to your sons.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much, not even just the love for the horses, there's so many life values with working with the animal, right? And just the respect, right? I mean, I'm very fortunate if I get to go around and talk to so many youth all over, and the main focus is respect. And it's a lot of work, but I'm very fortunate. My boys are learning on the ropes, but my cousins and all that, they're hands-on quite a bit.
For every race, how many people are involved in that race?
So for every race, like there'll be just the 2 outriders, and then myself, I guess. So three on my team, 6 horses that I provide, because I got to provide the outriding horses. They ride many times, these outriders. We haul 20 horses and that down the road. So you know what I mean. So just like anything, you try to stay with what's working, but injuries do happen. Horses do get tired and need a little bit of break.
And so when we spoke on the phone a few days ago, I asked you, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions? And you referred to them as routines.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and it would be like, I mean, we'll go with the simple ones. It's just like, you know what I mean? What horse gets bridled first, left leg first, right side, left side. Kind of like always start with I know I'm always a right to a left kind of guy, and then everyone pretty much in the wagon world knows. Just when now we're out, I kind of get my nerves, and then I puke every race. That it's kind of just it's more like, okay, now it's go time, and it's not like throwing chunks. It's just like a dry heave quickly. Nerves are at where they need to be, and then my barn doesn't even phase them one bit. Like, I mean, new people around will be like, oh, what's going on? But I could be doing that right beside your shoe here, and then they don't even care. They know it's just routine.
And so we had some pretty good crowds at Back to Batoche days. Can you tell me, what was it like to race in front of, people that are closer to you that were at Back to Batoche?
Yes, it was exciting. I mean, I'm very fortunate. The last few years I've been running pretty much at the top, and it's been really good. And it was nice to be running in front of familiar faces and kind of bring the sport to people, and some people had never seen it before. But what the feedback from a lot of the drivers actually was the excitement from heat 1 right to heat 9. Like, you know what I mean? You're always going to get like any sport, your top end, the guys at the end are going to get a little bit more excitement, but the enthusiasm the crowd had from heat 1 to heat 9 was crazy, and that was the big feedback that they all loved. They didn't matter when everyone crossed the finish line and come out in front of the stands. They got big cheers, and that was something that they really enjoyed for sure.
After you win a race and you're going past the crowd, how does that make you feel?
It feels good. I mean, yeah, especially when things are going good, it feels a lot better. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, when the run doesn't go as good as it should be, you kind of suck it up, and I mean, because you got a lot of fans out there that support you, and you want to make sure you give them the credit and all that kind of stuff, and you kind of hide your sorrows a little bit if things didn't go. But it's that joy you see, like especially the young kids in the stands, right? You know what I mean? They're always running up, and they're waving and all that kind of stuff, and you try to make that eye contact and give them that extra wave or whatever, knowing that they know that you're waving at them. So it's really cool to see that the young generation being excited about the sport for sure.
The next generation's right here. Your sons are here. They're helping out and
Yeah.
whatnot. So let me ask you this, DJ. Is it every Chuckwagon driver's dream to go to the Calgary Stampede?
It is. I mean, the dreams changed a little bit over the years, but the big thing about these animals, and it's a good thing about like doing these things like this, is educating people about how much work and how much care and how much we do for these horses. Like I said, they come first, right? If we could just educate everyone before they made up their mind on what they think of the sport and on what we're forcing these horses to do. These horses, like you see them right here, they're wrecking a lot of our shots because they want to be part of this attention. You know what I mean? When I brought this wagon out today, they come over here and the horses were coming around and they know they want to be part of this. They're athletes and they want to be there. So the goal is, Calgary was the Stanley Cup, and it still is, don't get me wrong. My biggest thing is I want the sport to go, and I hope to one day be in Calgary. I just want to be there because I want to beat the best on a big stage, right? I'm just the one that sits in the box, and I'm lucky enough to be the GM is what I call myself, and then all my cousins and my family will be my coaches and my training staff and all that kind of stuff. And then the horses are the athletes, right? So let's go meet some of the athletes right now, and I'll tell you what I was talking about with the McDavids and the dry saddles and all that kind of stuff.
Let's do it.
Right? So Colty right here has got Howie, and he is one of the probably top outriding horses in the wagon world. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased. He's the one that throws holds the leaders, right? And Cale Lashness or Branson Harden have been the ones that have been riding him most of the time, and he's the one that's when I come in, they're going to hold him, and they're going to hold the lead team, right? When I was now going back with my McDavids and all that, he's just very valuable in the outriding pen. And then the one that my boy's walking around over here is when I talk with the kids and all that, and this is actually Drew's horse himself, and he named him Knox. He is my McDavid. He's my most valuable player in the barn. He makes me go, and it's a timed event. And when he's not, because he had a little injury this year, so I had him off for a couple days. And when he wasn't on the outfit, I was like seconds slower, right? So he's that valuable out there. So
Do these horses form a family when they're together all the time?
yeah, they do, and and they'll find a way to get hurt too, just like your boys and all that kind of stuff, family. And so they could be best buds, and then they'll scrap every once in a while. Once a month, they'll be trying to scrap it out and get on each other's nerves, but then they'll be back to best buds. A lot of times you'll notice is with when you take away one of their friends, and then he's just crazy, like they create that bond with each other, right? Where when you take away their buddy, they notice it. I call these three right here, these are my three stooges, because they need to hang out with each other all the time, and you take away one of their buddies, they get kind of upset, right? So when you bring one into the barn, you gotta bring them all. You can't just bring two. You gotta bring the three stooges in all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and they gotta be in a certain spots. You put them in the wrong spot, they cause more of a ruckus because they need to be by their buddy, right? This guy Ali is pretty good. He's like I said, he's my dry saddle, but and then Royal's out there. They're pretty level-headed. This one where he just gets along with everybody.
You know what? I can't believe that I'm here in a pen with you and all these horses around, because I've told people, you know, when I was younger, one of my cousins scared me with a horse I was quite young. So I've always been leery and nervous around horses. And so let me ask you, DJ, is it true that horses can feel
100%? Yeah, just like we say, that energy, they can feel that nervousness and all that. But you're doing a good job, like, you know what I mean? They're not feeling that at all right now from you. They can feel that, and like even when we're like new drivers, they can feel that. Like when I try to mentor a lot of drivers, and just even though you got the lines in your hand, they can feel that energy right through those lines, right? And the way you just do whatever, because you can grab some, I grab some lines out of your hand, where it's like they can feel you're nervous. Just watch, just kind of shake it out a little bit, just get a little loose, let them know that you're okay and all that, and here, and then they start working again, right? They feel that energy.
I'm really glad that I had a chance to meet your top horses and the team that I seen at Batoche. So thanks again for welcoming me here and introducing me to your top team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no problem. And I'm sure we'll get you to meet not just the top athletes, but some of, like I said, my coaching staff and all that, the family that helps out and all that. I'm sure they'd like to talk to you also.
Hey Colt.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what are we going to be doing here?
Well, we're going to be saddling outriding horses to Howard. Howard's one of the bigger personalities around the barn. Everybody knows him. Everybody hears about him. You know, outriders love him. He's just one of the nicest horses to be around. He's kind of, if you're a complete stranger, you can go right up to him and he'll be good the whole time. Like,
What does a typical day look like for you?
for me, well, it's wake up at 8, you know, climb out, do chores, have morning coffee. Everybody talks, like, we all have a big conversation when horses are turned out, chores are done for that side of the barn. So we'll all talk and wait for them to have their time out and have a nice stretch after their night. And then when chores are finished and we kind of everyone takes a nap. You know, it's long days, so I'll nap from probably about, chores are usually done around 11 o'clock, 12. So I'll nap till about 2 or 3. Chores, afternoon chores are about 4. And then it's just about race time by then. And race time, you know, you're saddling, you're harnessing horses, you're getting everything set up.
Everything's pretty much family oriented with King's Racing. And so were you born into this?
I was born into it, yeah. My grandpa raced before I was born, and I grew up always around horses, always being around this, and yeah, I'm really grateful to have this kind of lifestyle, to be around these animals, and the racing scene's just great.
Okay, Colt. So you said you've been born into racing. Who was your grandpa that raced?
My grandpa is Daniel King. He was driving in CPCA for a while, retired, I don't know, a few years ago, a bit, and he kind of mentored DJ into driving, because it's a whole family thing. So DJ and my mom, my aunties, they were all around when my grandpa raced, and so when DJ come back from hockey, he picked up the lines. And
you've got a saddle here. Can you go through what's going to go on here and your equipment that you brought with you?
All right, so I'll start with saddling the horse. You know, the pad kind of keeps sweat down from against the saddle. You know, it keeps them nice, keeps them comfortable. So we'll put that there. This towel. Some saddles, they'll have plastic stirrups, fiberglass. We have a steel. So the steel saddles, stirrups are real easy to find, but sometimes they'll rub on the horse and that. So we'll throw a towel on to kind of keep that from happening. Some outriders prefer different saddles. I know this one's Kale Lajeunesse favorite. It's my favorite too.
And you said this is an outriding saddle?
Yeah.
So how is this outriding saddle different from a typical saddle?
Well, a typical saddle will have a back cinch right about here that'll connect, but these thoroughbreds, they're uncomfortable when you're going around the track, you know, and you're trying to shed weight too for, you know, you want to be faster. And so these are like, they got that tree, but most of it's nylon, light leather, like plastic. It's super light. Well, and then those heavy leather saddles, you know, it's not the same. And we usually have the stirrups a bit higher than you usually would, because when you're going fast, you got to kind of stand up and get in a nice jockey stance. So you're able to stand up, and that keeps the speed going with the horse.
Is Howie ready? If we were at the races, would Howie be ready to go now?
Howie's race ready. It's just the rider now.
Okay. And what else do you have in the tool bag?
Well, I got my riding crops. You know, this is if you're lagging behind, you're not making you jump like as quick as you should be. You'll and you don't want to get a late penalty, because then penalties matter. Every second's matter in a race.
So how long have you been out riding and doing this? And what's your favorite part of out riding?
Well, my favorite part of it is obviously, being on the track with the wagons. It was a lifelong dream for me because I grew up watching outriders, and when I was probably about 5, you playing wagons on the ground, running around, and you're saying, "Oh, I'm the outrider. Oh, I'm the driver." I'd call for the outrider every time. So outriding is really a dream come true for me. I'm just happy my family is able to support me.
How do you feel when you're getting ready for a race? Like what's going through Colt's mind?
Well, the nerves, obviously, outriding it's usually a little more dangerous than driving because it's just you and the horse. So if you're late, you miss your jump, you can fall off. You're nervous all the time, but you're just saying to yourself, I'm gonna get this done, it's gonna work. And it has for me. I'm really lucky and fortunate I haven't fallen off, and this helmet hasn't got cracks in it yet.
Okay, Colt, so there's a couple more things in the tickle trunk there that you haven't told me about. Can you tell me about these, please?
Oh yeah. Well, same thing with your helmet. You want to stay protected the whole time. So you find a light flak vest, and it will really protect you.
And
Yeah.
what's the vest made out of, do you know?
Kevlar and polymer, I think. It spreads the impact of if you get stepped on by a horse, if you're on the ground, if you get run over by a wagon, it'll spread the impact, and it won't really be directed, so you don't break any ribs, no bones, nothing.
So are you comfortable? You want to go for a ride on Howie?
Yeah, I can take him for a ride, and he's a great horse, so maybe you should jump on too. He'll be fine.
A little bit later, yeah.
little
Well,
bit later,
I'm down to try and get on Howie. I don't know about riding because I don't really know anything about riding, so let's do it.
There you go. Is your hip okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I feel it's actually
Oh, I'm nervous, but I'm having a good time. I like this. So, thanks, Colt, for showing me the ropes on Howie here, and you put me up on his back. So I
Oh, yeah.
thank you for that. And
Well, you should be able to outride now, and there's nothing else to it but getting on.
I don't know if I'm ready for outriding yet, but it's really a dream to be up on Howie. And so, like I asked earlier, does he sense that I'm nervous now?
Well, a horse will sense most, but you're calm, and he's all right. He's a nice horse, and he'll kind of sense that and say, well, there's no reason for me to be mean or wing out. He's calm, and he understands that some guys get nervous, and he's just there to show you the ropes because he's a Cadillac. He's a great horse.
Okay. I can't believe I'm up here. No, I'm not ready to go on my own. I'm fine with you leading me. Hi, Loretta.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm enjoying myself here at DJs Ranch and getting to learn about Chuckwagon and the family and the team behind DJ. And I just wanted to catch up with you on how you're involved with DJ and the racing and the history behind Bear Creek and a little bit about that.
Back when my grandpa Edward King had come back for more, he actually purchased some land out here. Like, we know that our Métis veterans didn't receive compensation, so he purchased land out here. And our family just started to grow and grow and grow. And part of the thing for my grandpa out here in Bear Creek was that he wanted to make sure that the young people growing up had a healthy place to live. And so part of that was establishing grounds that were safe, and we could do some equine therapy, you know, support for your soul at a young age. It really helped to set the foundation for us.
What is something that sticks out with you, a memory from your grandfather that he would have taught you growing up out here?
Well, one of the memories that I have of my grandpa that started out here was actually the land where we're at right now. He was a big supporter of Métis people and our families, and so he helped to start a market garden, and so we had a market garden out here right where we are.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the market garden.
The market garden was used to support families and to provide some economic growth. You know, people had jobs. And
What role do you play with King's Racing on a race day?
well, when my dad was younger, he drove wagons. He drove pony wagons. We grew up in the pony wagon circuit. And so me and DJ and my sister Danielle and the rest of our siblings and some of DJ's siblings, we would all travel with my dad. And so we were essentially the crew to the team. And then we just evolved. So eventually, I believe it was in 2002, my dad decided to do big wagons, or the thoroughbred wagons, with CBCA. And so I helped back then, but now I'm just one of those support people in the background, and my children do it. And my granddaughter actually spent her first summer at the wagons. So every year since we were young, this is how we do our summers.
Nice. And you know, I got a nice picture of you and your granddaughter there at Batoche this year. How does that make you feel to see your children in picking up the family tradition?
It's a blessing. It truly is. When it comes to horses and working with animals, it like I said, it establishes such a strong foundation. It's that support for your soul. It's things that other people, your everyday person, doesn't get to experience.
Let's talk about the wagon and the use and maybe a little bit of history behind the wagon and the horses and our Métis people being horse people. Let's talk about that a little bit.
When it comes to the wagon, we've been using horses and wagons for years. Actually, when we think back to some of the history that happened in southern Saskatchewan, some of our people were moved up north to, say, Green Lake. They traveled by train, and then from Meadow Lake, they actually jumped in some wagons and carried on to Green Lake. Yeah, we're just able to support families that way. Back in the days when we did chuckwagons or wagons, and there was always a stove, right? And there was always a way to feed each other and to share that communal lifestyle that we all grew up as Métis people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about the family values, the family ties. So when the semi shows up at the race happens. What happens after the race? What does the family do together?
Well, we share our meals, just like every kind of Métis event that is hosted. And then we share our meals, we sit around, we support each other. We talk about kind of what went on, how the horses were, how everybody's feeling, those kinds of things. Prep and plan for the next day.
Okay. My hope was to come here and share with people who don't know a lot about chuckwagon driving, and that it takes a family, a team to be able to make DJ King successful. And I'd like to thank you for your time today. It was nice having a chat with you. And do you have any parting words for me about Bear Creek or being here in Meadow Lake and learning about chuckwagon driving?
No, thanks for coming out, and I'm glad you enjoyed your experience, and it was really nice to see you on a horse.
Thank you. I was quite nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. I was pretty nervous on the horse, and I was pretty nervous in the wagon, but I overcame it, and I'm really glad I came out here. It was a pleasure to be able to see where your family's from and just experience a little bit of the Chuckwagon life. So thank you again. The Chuckwagon team that you have here, it's all about family and kinship. So we've got your son Drew. What values and stuff through Chuckwagon have you been trying to pass on to Drew?
Oh, just there's so many values you learn with the sport, and obviously the respect value with the horses and the way you run your business, hey, right? And when I say business, your barn and crew and all that kind of stuff, the little details. 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock. Horses are out, cleaning barns, all that stuff. Horses got fresh water, clean bedding. You know what I mean? Everything's done right. Horses come first. And just it just the work ethic that comes in it, right, with it, right. So they're good. I mean, the boys, you add a quad in there with chores, they really love it, right? You know what I mean? So they get to use it side by side and all that kind of stuff. But they got a big family, right? They don't, not just my barn. They everyone on the grounds knows the Drew, and he's got many babysitters. I'm not too worried about my boys. I just gotta go find them at nighttime when it's time to go to bed. Yeah.
Okay, Drew, how long have you been riding horses?
5.
5 years. And what's your favorite part about being around the Chuckwagon to your dad's Chuckwagon team?
Watching him race?
Mm-hmm. And so do you want to be a Chuckwagon driver when you grow up?
Yeah.
And do you think your dad's gonna give you some horses that are gonna be a fast team?
Yeah.
You want to be outrider first.
Outrider first.
And of all your dad's horses, which one is your favorite?
My horse.
What's your horse's name?
Knox.
Knox. And how long have you had Knox?
A year or 2 or 3.
Okay. And what do you do with Knox every day?
I watch him and I see him eat and drink.
And do you take care of him?
Yeah, and I say bye to him when I go on the bus to school.
And so when you take care of Knox, what do you got to do every day for Knox?
Say hi, and then my dad feeds him and does everything else.
Right now it's pretty. It's well, I guess we feed when we're not like oats right now, but they help with mix and feed. And Drew, you're just being modest. We all, they hang pails, they take pails down, all that kind of stuff.
What else? What else do you like to do around the ranch here?
I like to ride in the truck trainer, and when they drive it around the truck, they drive it around in the vehicle, and then the horses go.
And so what do you want to be when you grow up?
An outrider and then a Chuckwagon driver.
Nice.
But first a hockey player.
Well, I think you've got all of those right here in front of you with your dad. Do you think he's a good teacher?
Yeah, sometimes.
I imagine there's a few things you have to do before you go to bed tonight.
Yeah, no, actually, like I said, it's kind of the off season. It's gonna be kind of, we'll let these horses out. They come in for that, and we'll let this guy out. But right now the horses, they're pretty self-efficient right now. It's just resting time. But we'll let them get back to that green grass for sure. They'll take off. We'll unsaddle Howie.
Really enjoyed myself the past couple days here at DJ King's Ranch out at Bear Creek, just outside Meadow Lake. I learned a lot about Chuckwagon and the family and the kinship and what goes on behind the scenes. And I'm thankful to DJ, to Colt, to Glenn, to Danielle for teaching me, things that I didn't know. And I overcame some of my fears of jumping up on a horse and jumping in the Chuckwagon. I had a lot of fun. I hope you, the viewer, learned something new and what goes on behind the scenes, and I would ask that you subscribe and like to the Wandering Métis channel on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we've just taken ownership of a TikTok account, so we hope to have some fun on TikTok in the future. So once again, I'd like to thank you for following me, and I hope you continue to follow the journey with the Wandering Métis.